Hi, it's Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all things sinking funds. So just a little bit of background on why I love sinking funds so much. So when I started budgeting back in 2009, when I got serious about it, I should say, when I went to be an all cash budgeter, I did not have the excess money to do sinking funds. We built our $1,000 emergency fund. We had a little bit of extra cash in the bank that just covered deductibles. And then we went hardcore on paying down debt. So when I was able to free up money to do sinking funds, as a person who was a spender, not a saver, I really didn't want to do these. If I had extra money, I'm like, why am I saving for, 3 months down the road or 6 months down the road? Why can't I just use the money now? So I had to learn how to save, first of all. And second of all, I have a really hard time spending the money out of some sinking fund. So I'd rather just use my spending envelope or grocery envelope or something else. So, I've always kind of had this love-hate relationship with sinking funds until about 2 years ago when I realized the power of sinking funds. So what I personally love about sinking funds is it gives me permission to spend. And as a spender, anytime you give me permission to spend, I'm happy. So there's some of my sinking funds that are kind of just building up for future, like birthdays or Christmas or holidays, and glasses, things like that. And there's other ones that I'm saving up so that I can go do something. I have an adventures one that's giving me permission to say, let's go on a road trip, or let's go to Vegas, or let's do this. So it gives me permission to do spur of the moment things because I planned in advance. So, your sinking funds are going to look very different than my sinking funds. I mean, my kids are grown and out of the house. I'm retired. My husband's still working. So we definitely aren't, saving up for braces. Well, that's not true either because I'm saving up for Invisalign. So that's not really even a true statement. But all the things that we had to put our money towards when our kids were at home, college educations. Both my girls were in student council. That always was money coming out of pocket for things that they needed for student council, things like that. So before we get started, I just kind of want to explain my system on sinking funds. So I have a lot of sinking funds that are in cash envelopes, and then I have some that are in my Capital One 360 savings account attached to my Capital One card. And how I decide what is in cash versus what's at Capital One is how am I going to spend that money? So for example, my house reno sinking fund, I have an envelope for it just to track it. It's all at Capital One so that I know when I go to spend money out of that, I'm more than likely going to be using my Capital One card because it's going to be a big purchase and I'm going to want to track that expense. My car maintenance is there, technology, my Etsy shop. I have bills that I pay for my Etsy shop monthly that are like subscriptions and things like fees. So that money all goes there because I'm just going to move that over to my Chase card when it's time to make that payment. So that's kind of how I determine if I'm doing cash or if I am going to be putting it into an online sinking fund. I personally like having the cash so that you can just grab and go and I'm not building up my balance on my Capital One and then having to transfer money over. But it's kind of, I really want to decide in advance how I'm going to spend that money because I hate moving money. I hate moving money in and out. I don't like having 20 payments to my Capital One because I'm pulling out of different sinking funds. I would rather just use the cash and not worry about it. But sometimes that's really not possible because you're doing a lot of online shopping. So that's kind of just my background on what I do. And then I'll kind of do a brief description of each category because that is a question I get a lot. Like, what does adventures mean? What is, Christmas activities, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is just an Excel worksheet. And at the end of each month, I reconcile my envelopes. And so this is the goal that I have for that envelope. This is what I begin November with. This is what I added in the month of November, and then I'm going to subtract what I used and what my new balance is. And this process helps me to determine what I'm going to fund in December and what is already at goal or is a low priority that I'm not going to put money into it this month because something else has become a higher priority. So let's get started. So I have 3 binders. So these 2 are alphabetized. All my sinking funds are alphabetized, just helps me to find them. So these 2 binders are kind of the longer term sinking funds that are alphabetized in here. And this pink one is holidays and birthdays. So they're a little bit more, these are ones that I get in and out of more often. So I'm going to start with these just because these are more active than the ones in the other 2. So the first one in here is Valentine's Day. Now these obviously are not alphabetized. They're more kind of in the order that they're going to happen. So Valentine's Day, my goal for this sinking fund, so we're going to come down here, is $50. I started with 50. I still have 50. So I do not need to put anything into Valentine's Day. It is fine as it is. And so our anniversary is 1 week after Valentine's Day. So this has never been a huge, you know, holiday. I usually, when my kids were little, I gave them a little Valentine's Day card and some cash. You know, now it's really more just if I want to buy cards for people, I always buy cards for my parents and things like that. But so anything that I want to do like that. So I'm not having to buy, you know, a meal or anything like that with this fund. So I'm going to put that I did not use anything and I still have $50. So my anniversary is in February. It is my 35th wedding anniversary. So I originally started my savings challenge to have this be a sinking fund for my anniversary. And I've, over the year, decided to change that. So my anniversary is the beginning of spring training. So for most people, that doesn't really matter, but for me it does. So my husband, when we got married, was a minor league umpire, and for the last 24 years, he's had a part-time job with Major League Baseball as a resident security agent. So spring training in Arizona means that he is gone a lot, and he's either traveling or he's working a lot. So our anniversary being the very beginning of spring training, we tend to celebrate a little bit earlier, and I don't plan big trips for our anniversary because more than likely he's not going to be able to get away at that time. Some years, you know, like 2020 during COVID, spring training got canceled, so it was kind of a non-factor, but who knows what's going to happen this year. So I'm just going to plan a trip prior to this. Hold on one moment, please. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter's dog got out and went to the front door. She thought he was gone, so she was panicking, so she was calling me. So I guess that never stops. She's 29. I still get the panic phone calls. So I apologize. So back to where we were. So currently I have $100 saved for my anniversary, which is in February. I think what I'm going to do is I'm planning something that's going to be kind of a combination anniversary and Christmas gift trip before spring training starts. So I think what I'm going to do with this money is just let it roll for right now. I might, I think what I'll do is go ahead and put a $100 bill in, and that way it will be a little bit less bulky. And in the envelopes, just to kind of make my life easier, what I do is I put the register on the outside of the plastic so I can just flip it and see, and then the money goes on the inside. Just that way I could quickly flip through here and see what I have in there. So for my anniversary, my goal was 100. I have 100. I haven't used anything yet, so my balance is 100. So So St. Patrick's Day, what we like to do is go to an Irish bar and listen to music and have dinner. My goal for St. Patrick's Day was 100. I have 100. I have not used any, so this just goes back until March. And normally I would take this out of eating out and things like that. And then when I did a really deep dive into my budget, planning for what I was going to do for 2022, I did this back in August. I decided that for these one-off, you know, this holiday or whatever, instead of trying to take money from categories that were maybe already a little bit tight, like eating out or groceries, I would go ahead and save for it. And that way, when the time came, I wouldn't feel like, well, I don't have money to go to the Irish bar and listen to music and have dinner. So that's when I started having a sinking fund for it. Easter is really about the food. So what happens is we get together. We normally have a potluck. I have $50 in here, and my goal is 100. So I do need to start to fund this one a little bit more so. So if I need to put money in to make a goal by a certain date, then I divide how much time I have. So for an example, for Easter is in the beginning of April, I believe, this year, or the end of March. So I have December, January, February, March. So I have 4 months to do $50. So I could do like $12, $13 a month, and I would have my $100. Or if I have extra money in sinking fund dollars to kind of distribute, I may just go ahead and put the 50 in, and then it'll be done with. Family barbecue, I finally funded. So when we look at 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, really we usually just get together, swim, do a barbecue. So instead of doing a 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day, I just put it all together under family barbecue. We usually smoke meat, and so, you know, the meat that we're gonna smoke, whether it be, you know, tenderloin or whatever, is usually quite pricey. So I like to have at least, I think I put $300 as my goal. Let's see, family barbecue. Yeah, 300 is my goal because I like to host and not make anybody bring anything, so that, you know, they can just come relax, they can play in the pool and things like that and not worry about bringing a side dish or whatever it is. So I only have $50 in here right now. The next holiday is Memorial Day, so I am 6 months away. I need to do $300, so I've got $50 a month that I need to fund family barbecue to have it in place. So family barbecue is 50. Halloween, I ended up not spending the $30 I had in here. I went the day of Halloween. Normally I go to my old neighbors. They pay for the candies, so I had to, this year I wasn't going there, they were out of town, so I went to buy candy on Halloween, gone. They had Christmas candy, no Halloween candy. So I just left the money in here, and I just won't fund this next year. So Halloween, 30 was my goal. I still have 30. Okay, Thanksgiving is done and spent. So I had $100, that was my goal. I spent it all, so I'll start rebuilding this up next month. Probably, I'll start in about August or September. Christmas. So this one's going to be a super fluid one. So I have 4 categories for Christmas. I have Christmas total, which was $3,250 was my goal, and my actual, because I fully funded Christmas in the month of October. I'm going to bring this in a little bit more just so you can see the numbers. So for Christmas Day, my goal was $200, and that's all the food for Christmas Day. So breakfast, lunch, dinner. Christmas decor, I needed to buy a new tree this year, which I have purchased. And then any other little things that I buy for decor, lights or decorations, anything like that. Christmas gifts is obvious, and it's $2,250 is what I always plan for based on the size of my family. So what I do at the kind of the beginning of the year, and definitely as I get closer to December, is I actually break down my budget in my budget planner. Let me pull this back out a little bit. And so this is where I break out what I need, what my total is, and then how I broke it up. So for food example, Christmas Day food, I put $100, Christmas Eve food, $50, and then baking, $50. So I do a lot of baking, you know, during the holidays, some for stocking stuffers, some just to have. So I, you know, always forget how expensive pecans are and things like that. Decorations, $300. Activities, I'm going to talk about in a moment. And then gifts, I break it up by kind of segment. So family, meaning my daughters and my husband, was $1,200. My nieces and nephews, and these are actually their kids, for $220. And then I mark off who I've already gotten gifts for. My sisters, which was $200, I spent $180, and that's done. My parents, $200. Friends and like neighbors, $100. And then a cushion of $330. So my cushion literally keeps me from going over and taking money or putting more on my card than I should. And then for Christmas stockings, I put $400. And I have done some of these already, and I've got some additional ones to do. And then over here, I just track my transactions, and then I can kind of make sure that I'm staying on budget. So the only thing that I really have tracked so far is $180. That was for my sisters. And then this is what I have remaining. So that's kind of how I handle Christmas and expenses for Christmas. So this envelope that just says Christmas is actually for stockings. And I've already spent some of this, but I need to figure out where, what I spent in cash versus what I spent on my card, and then pay that back. And Christmas food is still intact. So 50, 100, 200. Okay, let me just catch up here for right now. So Christmas Day is still there. Christmas decor, I spent $220. Christmas gifts, I took the $180 out already, so I started with $2,250. I started this month at $2,070 because I did buy some of the gifts in October. So I need to calculate what I've spent like over the weekend, and then I'll adjust that number. When I was working, we always got what we called a holiday bonus or Christmas bonus. And it really wasn't Christmas, it was a profit sharing bonus. And I would just, whatever that was, that was my Christmas fund. And that was super stressful because it wouldn't come in until the 15th of the month, and I would want to start shopping. So this year I decided to do this completely different. One, I wasn't gonna have a Christmas bonus. That's the first thing. And second of all was the fact that I did not want to wait till the last minute. So this was fully funded in the month of October. And so for decorations, I've just spent the $220. And so I have $80 left. So 80. My tree is not put up yet. It's sitting, all my boxes and bins are sitting in the middle of my living room. So I've got to get that done. Christmas activities are things that we do around the holidays, like go look at lights, go to zoo lights, go downtown, what they call Glendale Glitters, buy hot chocolate, things like that. So anything that we want to do that's kind of more activity related. My goal was $100. I still have $100. And I decided that anything that was left over would just roll into next year. So instead of taking it out and putting it back. So for gifts, the majority of the money is in Capital One. And then I did put $250 in here. So let's see here. I only have one other one that I wrote down, which was 118, but I need to figure them out. I want to make sure that this balances, because I took the 118 out of Capital One. That was something I bought online. And then my birthday, my goal is 500. My birthday's in July. I currently have 100. And so I'm just going to, and last year for my birthday, I turned 60, which is a little bit frightening. But I bought myself a Louis Vuitton wallet. So normally I do not buy myself a gift, and definitely not a gift that expensive, but it was a big birthday for me. So that is why I saved for it. I had $1,000 saved for my birthday, and then I was able to roll the rest of the money after the wallet into another, I think I put it into technology. So for my husband's birthday, his birthday was in September. His goal is 500. I do not have anything in his account in his envelope right now. I need to start working on that. And then my daughter Megan is also in July. So her same goal of 500. This is her, what do they call it? She's going to turn 30. So I know it's going to be a bigger day. I'm sure that she's going to want to go do things with her friends. I'd like to be able to get her a gift and then help her offset the cost to have a big birthday celebration. So she currently has 100, goal of 500. The cars is my daughter and son-in-law. They get to share a folder. So 150, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 156 is what's in this envelope. And that's what I started with. My son-in-law's birthday is in February, so I need to build this up a little bit more. It's coming up. Nieces and nephews, as I said earlier, is my nieces and nephews' kids. There's 11 of them. So there's a birthday every month. So again, instead of just having one big gifting fund that I had in my Capital One, because they're now at that age that they like cash. You know, they like to go shopping, or I buy them a gift card or a little toy and something, so that, you know, I have the cash on hand to do that instead of taking it from another account. So in this one, I did spend money this month. I spent $35 because it was one of the birthdays. So I had $175. I added $50 for $225. I spent $35. I should now have $190. So 50, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 150. 160, 170, 180, 190. Okay. And this is one that I kind of separate. So I budget $35 per kid. So whether, and when I went to go buy Cohen's gift, I really just took $35 out of here and I made it work. I came in at like $34.80 something. So that I can just really kind of keep it fair, first of all, but keep it under budget. So family is my parents, my sisters. Our next birthday is in the month of May. So there's currently $100 in here. My goal for this is $400. Now it's gonna go in and out, you know, throughout the year, but I just keep funding it so that I can kind of get to that $400 goal and then just replenish as I need to. Adventures is kind of just that, you know, I talked about this one a little bit in the beginning. It's about going on a road trip or just, you know, doing something that sounds fun for the day, whether we go to the zoo or we go to the science museum, whatever it is. Sometimes it's just nice to get out of the house. And so I have an entertainment fund, but that's kind of a $50, you know, cap. So I wanted to have a little bit more money in this one. My goal was 100. I should have 100, which I do. So this one is complete. And so this is a project I need to do prior to doing my new budget, because if I haven't caught all of the things I've taken out of or what my goals are, then I'm gonna be behind. I'll either forget to fund something, or I'll put too much money in that I didn't need to do. I could use it elsewhere. Okay, so Liam and Milo are my girls' dogs. I do not have a pet right now, but I have my grand puppies, as I call them, quite often. I did use $25 out of here. I took Liam and got his nails cut and things like that. And this was another category that I never funded. And so I was buying them toys or food or whatever when I was taking care of them. And I was just trying to find where I was taking that money from. So just to keep my envelopes more accurate and pure, I went ahead and looked at where my money was going, and then that's how I created the sinking fund. So 50, 110, 125. And this is another one that I keep in smaller bills, because I like his grooming for the nails was $20, and then I tipped him $5, and then I keep his little frequent frequent buyer card in here, so that I know when I pull the money to pull that card as well. And then Disney, I was going to go to Disney next week, but my dad has been in and out of the hospital, and my other sister from Chicago is coming out. So I decided not to. I'm going to let this grow. My goal is 900. I currently have 300. So I was going to pull the balance out of my vacation fund, but you know, the way things are right now, I don't want to be that far from my dad. He's not doing well, so I'd rather be here sitting in his hospital room with him than going to Disney. So that is this folder. So all occasions, holidays, things like that. And then this should go much faster. This video is already going to be a long one. Arts and crafts, we do craft night. The last one we did, my sister supplied everything, so I didn't spend out of here. So I have $50, I have $103. So arts and crafts, 103 I still have. My goal for this one is 150, so I probably will put money into this in the month of December, because that's our busy craft time. Beauty and skincare, I cannot seem to keep money in here. I had 85. I spent 85. I have a company store from my retirement, and everything is 50% off. So all the brands that are part of this company are every day 50% off. Then they do a friends and family. So I give my link out. People can shop, and then for sharing my link, I get back a 25%, you know, 15, 20, or 25% coupon. This time I got a 25. And so what happened was I then stocked up, plus I feel like everybody else, I got Christmas gifts, things like that. So the 85 that I had in here was spent, which is fine. That's what it's there for. But I seem to keep doing that. So I've got to put money back in there. My goal is 300, and it is currently not at $85. It's currently at $0. Car maintenance is actually a Capital One account. I did spend money this month. I think I spent 108. So I had 2,000. Again, online account. I spent 108. So I now have 1,892. I'm probably gonna put more money in just so it's an even number, but I spent this on the truck that we have. That's an older truck, and you know, my car is not gonna need maintenance for a while. Neither is my husband's, but you never know, right? I wanted to always have the $1,000 deductible for our insurance if we needed it. Dental is just saving money. I just had a $91 dental bill, but I'm gonna let this roll and take that out of copays. I don't really know. Sometimes I go, I don't spend anything. It's all covered. Sometimes I go and I get a bill. I don't know. I don't understand it. Electricity overage is an account that for November I had budgeted $250. It came out at like $170. So the $70 that I had budgeted that I didn't use goes into this account. So I currently should have $196. So 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 96. So I live in Arizona, so the summer months, my bill goes up to like 400, maybe 500. And then in the winter months, it's like 150. So I budget the same amount because my average bill, when I take all my bills for the year, divide it by 12, is $250. So I always budget at least $250. And then whatever extra goes into this to offset those bigger bills. So I started doing this about a year ago, and it really does give me a lot of peace of mind when I get into the summer months because I know it's going to be bad. So what I'll do is kind of maybe bring this down. There's a lot of bills in here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I'll do a 50 and a 20, and I need one of the 10s back. 80. I'll take two of the 10. Let's see, I'll take one 10 and two 5s and put another 20. So that needs to go there. Let me see if I did that right. So 150, 190, 6. Okay, that's right. So this is money that's going to start my cash funding for the month of December. So that's my back to bank money. So I'm just using it to kind of bring down some of these totals. I know there's a lot of YouTubers that will actually go take big bills out of the bank and then replace it. I'm pretty lazy. Okay, fitness is at 200. And I have not spent any money out of here. I've been dealing with a foot issue that I'm doing physical therapy for, so I've not been released to go exercise again. So let me go back to electricity, 196. Family barbecue's right. Fitness is still at 200. I'm at goal. Gifts, my goal is 600. I currently have 508 in the bank. I didn't use anything this month, so I'm at 508 still. Glasses, my goal is 400 for the month of March. When I get new glasses, I currently have 150, 60, 70, 80. So I have 180. See, glasses, yep, 180. I'll put the two 10s and grab a 20. Put the two 50s and grab 100. So 150, 70, 80. Okay. And then health and medical, this has just been a bad category. So I started with 100. My goal was 1,000. I started with 50. I added 1,000. I used 400 and let me just look on my monthly budget for 1 second. I have used let's see, started with 1,000, really 1,050. 1,050. No, 1,000. Minus 648. I have used $352 so far. How's it medical? Used $352. Always forget that I have the $50 in here. I might just end up taking it out. Minus $352. Okay, 1,050 minus 352, 698 is what I have left. I will build that back up. Now, my husband just had surgery. We were out of pocket $2,500. We do have a medical spending account from when he retired. That is where that money is going to come from because he needed to have the surgery. We were not prepared to spend $2,500 this month on medical. And so we just decided to go ahead and pay it and then just reimburse ourselves from the medical spending account. HOA, my goal was to have $880 in this account by January 1. I am not there yet. And this is to pay the HOA for 2022 because I just budget for it, $75 a month. But then when I was the 4 months of the year that I was paying for it, I was just taking that money out and not putting it away. So currently I have $150. It is due again in January. So I am going to try to beef this up in the month of December. Let's see how that goes. House reno is all in the account. We haven't started, but it's in my Capital One account. I do have an envelope because part of it is actually in Capital One. Part of it is still in my credit union. And so I need to pull it all together and create a budget for the things that we still need to do. And I'll probably do that all separately from my regular budget. Invisalign is... I've been trying to start this for like a year and a half now, and then with COVID, everything shut down. So I have 60 in here now. I put 20 a month in. My husband's new insurance actually does cover Invisalign. So I just need to get my life organized and get that scheduled to start. So we'll be out of pocket half of it, but actually now have insurance to cover some of it. Okay, so lottery is kind of an exciting one. I love to do scratchers, but I have to budget for it so that I don't feel guilty about it. So I started with 60. I did play one day and I had a great time. So I do have extra money in here. And then we went to the casino on Thanksgiving. I took the rest of my winning money and I took it to the casino. Unfortunately, I did not bring it home from the casino, but you know, I don't feel as bad about losing money that I budgeted for. That was actually what I call lucky money. So currently in here, I have 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 86, 87. I have 287. So I added $227 and then I now have 287. So one, I won't fund the $20 I normally put in here for the month of December. That's the first thing. The second thing is you may not see this money the next time I do a reconciliation, because if I take the money and play with it and then I don't win, but again, I don't feel bad about it because it's budgeted for. I truly love that about budgeting, that you can just spend it if you budget for it. So lottery, I added plus 227, so I have 287. Okay, pest control. We just had service this month, so and again, this is another one. I put $30 a month in here so I can pay for the year next year. And pest control is $360 for the year. We do quarterly service and it's $90. So I currently have 60. And that's another one that I pay as I go, but then I also wanted to have a year's worth just to, if money gets tight, then I can just pull it from here. Planning is empty again. This should surprise no one. I spent the whole $200. It is empty. Rollover is rollover money from my weekly envelopes. I don't really track it here, but this is what I have so far from the month of November. I did roll all of my money from October that I could to offset medical bills. It was $671 I took out of my envelopes, and so I started over. Savings challenge is actually in a different binder. Self-care is massages, facials, things like that. 50, 150, 200. I believe this is good. Self-care. Yeah, my goal was 200. I have 200. So I won't fund this in December, but then if I spend money, then I will replace that. Subscriptions is really Amazon, and when I did a deep dive into my 2022 budget, I realized I have a lot more subscriptions that I pay for. Some for Etsy, some personally, but particular envelope, it is just Amazon. So 20, 40, 60, 75. I put $25 a month in here, and this is due the first week of November, so I obviously do not have enough. So it's $129 with tax minus 75. I need to put 54 in the month of December to have enough money. And then just a couple more. Tax prep is obviously for April. It normally costs us about $400 because I have a business, my husband has a business, plus our household. So I have 50, 40, 60, 80, 130, 140. I put 70 a month in for till April. So let's see here. Tax prep. 140. Okay, technology is really an online account, and that's for anything, a new phone. I just spent money in October for a new printer. In here, because I had $26 left from my cash stuffing, I put it in here to add to technology. I have not spent any money this month. So I started with 736 and I added 26. So I should have 762. Thanksgiving, we know I spent. Vacation, I did spend $300. We went to San Diego. So 2,150 minus 300, 2,450. That is right. And that is an online account. Valentine's Day, and then vitamins. So vitamins, this is just seems like a revolving one because when I stock up, it's always expensive. So I did spend money in October. I had 80. I added 120. Oh, I did spend more money this month. Let me see here. Yeah, I spent 60 this month. So I had 80. I added 120. Minus 60, 140, that is correct. Okay, so that is sinking funds in a glance. I am really enjoying having these. It is a lot more work because they're cash, A, so I have to pull the cash out when I do my cash stuffing. B, it takes more time for me to reconcile them and move money. If they were all online, then I could just, you know, some budgeters just put all your sinking funds together, and then when I know that arts and crafts is supposed to be, you know, $103 and I spend money, then it's more like a virtual spend. You know, I use my card, I move the money onto my card, and then I reconcile it here. Personally, I like having the cash so that I can, you know, spend in cash and I'm not having to move money as much, but that's just me. So this ending balance will become my new balance for the month of December. and then I'll add in what I'm gonna add, and then at the end of December, I will of course reconcile them again. So if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I apologize for the length of this video. I knew it was gonna take some time. I didn't realize it was gonna take quite so much time. So thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go